You guys are over 20 years too late to do a sci-fi reimagining of Journey to the West. Toriyama already owns that shit. All that's going to happen is you're going to be unfavorably compared to Dragon Ball.
Welcome to Slave Ship 909.
This slave ship has been in the air for quite some time, yet they only give the welcoming speech halfway through the trip. Also, helpful friendly welcoming message on a slave ship. How ironic. What is the point of locking your new slaves up in these huge-ass containers? I mean, you would think they do something like put them to sleep, cryo-freeze them, or brainwash them, what with all those pipes and electronics. But nope, they're just huge inconvenient holding cells. After all, this is sci-fi and nothing can be convenient. Video reception in the future is crap cliche. It's like no one can get over how video was depicted in 1980s sci-fi. It's going to be pretty much impossible for me to like this protagonist who spends the entire game roided out and shirtless. You may think that's petty of me, but I had to sit through every Twilight movie, and I had enough of that shit back then. Well, that was pretty easy to escape that futuristic holding cell. Does all that crap on them do anything? A padlock on a metal door would have been a far better choice to keep the sexy hacker girl cliche locked up. Just keep tapping that warning screen, lady. That'll fix it. Whose bright idea was it to keep a computer terminal that can pretty much self-destruct the ship right next to the slave holding cells? The one group on board who might want to self-destruct the ship.
Structural integrity 30%.
The structural integrity is already at 30%? She just got off the computer a second ago. Shouldn't there have been smaller increments? Oh, so all those pipes sticking out of those things were just there to conveniently blow off the cell. Which makes me wonder what kind of flammable gas they were pumping into them, and why aren't all the slaves dead from breathing it? You were pounding against that door pretty fruitlessly before, but now that it's lying on the ground, you can just punch it open with one hand. Explosions always happen in a straight line just so people can run away from them. This mech managed to shoot everyone but Monkey, even though Monkey is twice everyone else's size and is therefore a bigger target.
I can't talk to you, it's against the rules.
This slave presumably knows that he'll be killed by a slave headband the second he does anything to help Monkey, but does it anyway because the threat of being beaten up by Monkey is bigger than a painful, excruciating death. I'm not sure why this thing has wings. Not like that's improving the aerodynamics. It's not post-apocalypse without a shot of the Statue of Liberty. Also, that's one iconic landmark being destroyed cliche. And also, that's the Statue of Liberty in a post-apocalyptic plot with a main character whose name is Monkey. They knew what they were doing when they wrote that scene. Monkey was clinging to the front of the escape pod when it collided with a brick wall, yet somehow survives without a scratch on him. Hell, Trip should be dead too, since she was inside the pod that crashed into a brick wall. Wow, he managed to land on the one mattress lying around in Grand Central Station. What are the odds?
You put this on me.
Let me explain.
Get this thing off, or I'm gonna rip your head off.
Andy Serkis isn't in more video games. I mean, there's this game, Heavenly Sword, and a bunch of Lord of the Rings games that don't even count since he's just playing Gollum. This guy can out-act Nolan North and Troy Baker even when phoning it in. You would think this would be a no-brainer.
I hacked a slave headband, so it could be activated by my voice commands.
Do they just keep those inside the escape pods for emergency enslavement situations?
If I die, you die.
Oh. Why?
I need your help.
Did you ever think to ask? You catch more flies with honey, you know. You skipped every basic negotiation tactic and went right for the old lethal enslavement headband play.
See that smoke over there? That's where the slave ship came down. First thing we're gonna do is head for that. Hoping my ride survived the crash.
If your motorcycle survived that ship crash, I'm sending you for it. In fact, I'm going to preemptively send you for it for bringing up the idea. Lifting junk for trip loading gates.
I'm not commanding you. I'm asking you.
Oh, look at that. Two people who have no reason to like each other are starting to get along. And all it took was half a minute of awkward character development.
They evolved some simple sensors to help them sniff out energy sources.
I don't know what kind of science fiction bullshit you're trying to pull to get me to believe mechs can evolve, but it's not working. Machines don't evolve. Period. That needs to be made into some kind of bumper sticker with a fish on it. Am I the only one who's really sick of the generic pop-up holographic displays in sci-fi? They seem unintuitive as hell. Here they're nothing but squares and lines. How the hell do you make any sense of that, lady? What's the feedback that your hand movements are doing anything? So Trip has a scanner she wears on the side of her head. You know, I went into this game expecting some parallels to Dragon Ball since they're both based on Journey to the West, but damn, I wasn't expecting them to go this far. Trip is basically Bulma, and that's a power level scouter she's wearing. She even uses it to scan enemies. Monkey has to break the neck of a turret to take over it. I'll just let you decide if that's cool enough to overcome the lack of logic.
Doesn't make any sense. They should be dead.
Makes perfect sense. The sunlight feeds the plants oxygenate the water, the small fish eat the algae, the big fish eat the small fish. It's a closed ecosystem, just like my home.
Unless you're going to tell me winter is no longer a thing due to climate change, that's still impossible. An unheated aquarium in New York during winter? Yeah, I don't think I need to explain that one any further.
These fish can survive for 200 years against all the odds. So can we.
You just incurred the wrath of the irony god with that sentence, lady. See? You deserve that.
What the hell?
The developers found a way to sneak photos of them developing the game into the game.
I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Just like everyone else did.
I ain't gonna let that happen.
Did you guys forget to finish that cutscene? Ever since Uncharted came out, no one can ever just climb up something. It always has to be falling apart.
I thought I told you to stay put. Hey, Trip, can you hear me?
Monkey, help.
What's going on?
It came out of nowhere. I was just looking around and...
Whoa. Just calm down and tell me exactly what happened. Don't bother, I just saw it.
Yeah, how did you not see it before, considering you have a commanding view of the entire area below you?
Oh, Monkey, it was horrible!
Come on!
Oh, it was so horrible, I could feel it breathing!
You felt a robot breathing? Is that more of that mech evolution BS? Damn, we really need that bumper sticker. The mech dog was stopped cold by these columns a second ago, now can just knock them down like they're nothing. Ah, Andy Serkis, what are you doing not in CGI?
Monkey, where are you?
Shut the hell up.
Why? You can't hear her. Her voice is sent straight into your head, remember? Hell, she's even whispering when it's not even necessary. This is the kind of visual joke George Lucas would write. Hey, Bulma found a Dragon Ball. Look, I didn't intend for this video to just be me pointing out Dragon Ball references. It's not my fault they make it so easy. Give me a break. That's one more famous landmark in complete ruins. This game now meets the quota for a post-apocalyptic story. Incredibly handy hoverboard only works in certain areas. Damn it, Andy Serkis, seeing you out of CGI is just way too distracting, especially when it's in a game. Also mixing real-world video when render graphics went out of style with FMV games in the 90s. Monkey's motorcycle survived the crash.
You could probably stay. If you wanted. I'm just saying, when my father hears about all you've done for me, I know he'll offer you a home.
Campfires inspire character development, backstory, and romance. Those things sure are a handy plot device. Everyone in Trip's hometown has been killed by slavers by the time she and Monkey get there, which kind of makes me wonder why they're called slavers in the first place if they murder everyone rather than take them as slaves.
Well, at least they can get through the place.
They will be able to get through once we short the power.
If electric fences are so effective at keeping mechs out, why wasn't your entire village surrounded by them? Okay, it was bad enough when Trip was hacking on holographic keyboards full of squares and lines, but you can't tell me she can hack or manipulate anything with two blank, flickering monitors.
My daughter, my beautiful daughter, I know how resourceful you are. I know there's a chance you will come back, somehow escape the slavers, and make your way home.
The farewell message Trip's dad recorded for her on the off chance she would make it home starts playing the moment she enters the safe room. I could somewhat buy this if it was playing on some equipment that might have a motion tracker or a camera, but that's just a regular audio player, so how did it know to turn on?
I love you, Trip.
How did you know that was the end of his final message? He might have had more to say and you just cut him off.
Monkey, you haven't said anything to me.
About what?
About how I broke our deal?
Anyone who has ever ridden on a motorcycle before can tell you aren't hearing anyone unless they yell it. These two can ASMR to each other without a problem. Throwing just a few pieces of wood that were lying around to the side causes this entire barricade to collapse.
Any tricks? I'm gonna light you up. Now turn. Trip? Is that you?
Pigsy!
If Trip and Pigsy know each other so well, how come Pigsy couldn't recognize her from behind and Trip couldn't recognize his voice?
Last ship the Milligram to you. It's been coming here to the crater area. Every day for the past 6 months. I couldn't figure out why. So I started to keep track of what they were taking. Oh yeah. And piece by piece, I started to put it together.
You managed to put together a detailed blueprint of what the slavers are building just by keeping track of what junk they were taking from the factory? Even where its control room is and everything?
So we wait for the salvagers to come back tomorrow and follow them in your flying ship.
Exactly. But before we can fly, I'm gonna need some spare parts.
Of course you do. How else are you going to pad the game time out?
Now, Pigsy, how did you pick up a name like that?
Haven't a clue.
That's it. Explain the joke. That's the heart of comedy.
Are you and Trip You know,
And me and Trip what?
you know, we're together.
Trip enslaved me. And if I don't do what she says, she causes me a lot of pain. And if I still don't do what she says, she kills me.
Sounds like a relationship to me.
She can hear every word we say.
Well, she is only a few feet from you, so yeah, she wouldn't even need your headband to hear you.
Trip. You grew up so fast. Yeah, you're a woman already, and maybe I was thinking you might need a man, you know.
So how'd it work out for you?
Let's go.
This is the kind of joke George Lucas would write. This is the kind of romantic imagery George Lucas would write.
That's the power soul we need.
Lucky. Having one just sitting there.
Pointing out your obvious boss arena doesn't excuse the fact that you made an obvious boss arena. In fact, it makes it worse.
Oh, one thing, monkey.
What?
Watch out for the rhino.
We have a class 4 bro code violation, trying to kill another bro over a girl. Also, that makes the third boss in this game that you temporarily stop by dropping something on it.
And if you had any sense, you wouldn't be trying to hit on a girl who has just lost her father.
And teenage girls. Half your age plus 7, man. That's the rule.
Crazy like a fox.
No! No! Like a pig!
See previous George Lucas jokes in. Were there fireworks stored in that pile of rubble? Well, at least it doesn't have Capsule Corp written on the side.
According to my calculations, we traveled 1,200 miles.
Not according to the on-screen text. Oh, that was the joke.
Looks like they're coming into land.
And we have a report that salvage ships have been shadowed by an unidentified craft fitting your description.
How have you had reports of this ship following salvage ships, so this is the first time Pigsy has ever done it?
Monkey, would you mind shifting your left arm slightly?
I don't really see how I can.
It's just your hand is right on my penis.
His hand is behind your back, so you would have to have one impressive penis for that to be true.
Oh, come on!
At least try!
I am trying!
So how did Pigsy manage to get through the rest of the vent if he was having that much trouble at the end? I mean, that was one long-ass vent. They built it underwater? How? And why? Way to speed up the oxidation process, guys, as well as shorting out all your electronics.
Just press the blue button.
There are no buttons! It's a giant black touchscreen! You should know this by now. Well, I guess the screen switching from red to blue is a step up for these monitors in terms of feedback, and that makes the third iconic landmark destroyed. You guys had the quota met, now you're just playing landmark bingo. To move this four-legged Leviathan forward, you move your two hands like you're rowing a canoe. Hey, the screen's turned red again. Going by that last cutscene, doesn't that mean something bad has happened? God damn it, how many sins do I have to give this game for its fucking hologram monitors? This looks more like Trip is playing a crappy mobile game rather than deactivating Monkey's slave headband. I am so getting Will Smith's Wild Wild West flashbacks. Did you guys forget to add sound effects to that scene? Over the course of 10 seconds going by the self-destruct timer, the Scorpion mechs go from being on the ground in front of the Leviathan to climbing all over it. Thank God. Yeah, they should be dead if they're that close to an explosion like that.
Is this him? Is this the man behind it all?
Well, it's the end of the game, and there have only been 3 fucking characters in this game so far, so I really hope so.
Stop.
Yeah, I think I would stop too if Andy Serkis told me to. This also means that Andy Serkis plays both the hero and the villain in this game. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be something deep and meaningful and I'm just missing it, but I'm way too distracted by the fact that Andy Serkis has such a prolonged non-green screen CGI role. Just something wrong with that.
I have enslaved no one. I rescue people from the wasteland. I give them life. I can explain. Pyramid is the memories of one man who lived before the war. We store his memories of the world that once was. I am Pyramid. You are seeing the world that they share with me. They are not slaves. They are citizens. They have jobs. They have marriages. They bring up their children. Their children go to schools.
If they're not slaves, then why does your slave ship call them slaves at the beginning of the game? Why are they killed if they disobey orders? And if your job is to be an arc for the world's past history, why did you have Tripp's entire village wiped out? Uh-oh, the ending just turned into a Daft Punk music video.
It's just your hand is right on my